Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Strategy Game Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Shippey. And today I'm going to be sharing a story about just a recent trip that I went on with my dad. And he told a story about our previous family business that really stuck with me. And the one-liner that I want you to remember is get the lids. And I'm going to explain what that means. Always get the lids. So we were talking about the days when we had some dealerships, and in your local dealership, you probably go in to get your car serviced, and you have coffee, snacks, water, whatever. Well, apparently, we had upgraded, and we had gone from the maybe white styrofoam cups and the old bun burners, if you remember those old school with the big diner coffee pots, right? We had upgraded those to perhaps a Keurig, that was a little bit fancier and felt decadent. And maybe we even got some nicer cups to go along with it. And we would have customers that would come in just for the coffee every morning. They would stop in on their way to work and come and get some coffee and hang out and say good morning and hello to some of the team. And that we might think, wow, I mean, that's pretty cheap. Like, they couldn't just go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks to get some coffee, but like they have to come in and get the free coffee, and you could think that maybe they were just taking advantage, right? But I loved my dad's approach on it. When he was in a dealer meeting, he was telling the story about how, we had customers that would just come in every morning and get their cup of coffee and say hello. And they asked him, well, okay, what happened? Like, why? And he said, they liked to be there. They liked to, stop in and say hello and just grab their coffee on their way to work. It was their way to start the day. And they started asking for lids so they could take it to go. And they said, well, what did you do? And he said, well, I bought the lids, he didn't even hesitate. He didn't say, no, I didn't get the lids because I didn't want to have to buy more coffee. I mean, that, this is ridiculous. They could just go get their coffee somewhere else. So this is what we talk about when we talk about seeing and hearing, knowing people. This is a testament to adding delight into your customer journey. So you all know that I put together journey maps and user experience documents for companies. And a lot of that allows us to think through delight every step of the way in their experience. And this is just an example of this. This is, the fact that it was in his character and nature not to even hesitate, but to get them lids so that they could come in and enjoy and stop and get their coffee. Because you know what? Usually when you go to a dealership, you don't want to go. I mean, who here honestly ever really wants to go get your car serviced? Never. In fact, I dread it. But these people actually wanted to stop in and say good morning at their dealership and get coffee. Like, they liked it enough and felt at home enough and liked the team enough that they would make it a part of their daily routine. So get the lids, because when you get the lids, AKA make it a good experience for them, then they want to come back. And you know what? They probably went to work and somebody probably, said, hey, I see you with the same cup every morning. Where do you get that? Or they probably said, hey, I was just talking to so-and-so, my, service advisor or whatever. And it really gives rave reviews. So they naturally start to talk about it, where they come from, where they just were, the conversation they had this morning. And when someone else or them are looking for a new car, where do you think they're going to go? Where they get the lids. You know why? Because they have the relationship. So the point here is we can get so mired and muddled in our daily routines, and we can get stuck on these, these processes and these things that we have to do within our business, that we can forget just really the basics of seeing and hearing and knowing those that we serve. And obviously this is something that I'm passionate about, and you guys hear me talk about it a lot, but I loved this simple illustration of how it doesn't have to be big things. Imagine how much those lids cost, right? A Costco pack of lids that made maybe 5, I don't know how many stopped in per day, but like 5 customers happy. But do you know how many people they told or recommended, or how many times they came back, right, to purchase another car or vehicle? So, I mean, clearly the revenue generated was much higher than the cost of the lids. So the lesson here is always get the lids. And the activation here is think through some ways that you can today insert delight into your customer journey. Think about how they feel when they walk into your space. Think about how they feel when they're being introduced to your product or your service. Even the process of checking out, of paying, right? Of going through the process to get more information. Is it hard? Are there barriers? Because that's not going to feel welcoming to them. Make it as easy as possible for them to engage with you and enjoyable. So make it as easy and enjoyable as possible. And again, this is really simple stuff, and you probably know this, but we need to be reminded a lot more than we need to be instructed. So you probably know this, but this is your cue. This is your reminder today to take some time to figure out how you can get the lids. So that's what we got for you today. As always, if you want more information on us, you can head to www.storywork.co. Thanks so much.